Hi, Brian Mahone here, certified insurance counselor and cyber insurance aficionado. In this video, we're going to go over cyber insurance and the question of how much. How much should I buy? Am I overbuying? Am I underbuying? This video is actually prompted by a commenter on one of our YouTube videos. I'll move myself out of the way here. Brittany says, I found your video online. Quick question regarding cyber insurance. I work for a small business and we currently have cyber insurance, but want to evaluate if we have enough coverage. Carrier they're using is Travelers. Is there a quick way to kind of calculate this? So to answer that question, there's actually two different ways that I kind of recommend CFOs, business owners, whoever's in charge of kind of purchasing the cyber insurance. And one of them is the Chubb Cyber Risk Index. And then the other one is simply figuring out the amount of records and multiplying by the cost per record. So it's funny, when you're looking at cyber insurance, I often joke that it's kind of like preparing to change the diapers of your first kid. You're not really sure how many baby products to buy, what you're going to use. It's super easy to overspend, but if you underspend, it's going to get messy. So let's jump into it. I'm going to pull up the cyber risk index here and move myself out of the way again. And you could just Google Chubb Cyber Risk Index. And it's a free service brought to you by a national, actually global insurance carrier, Chubb, who's kind of a pioneer in the cyber insurance industry. They've pulled together about 20 years worth of actual claims data. So this is the tool. It essentially will give your business, compare your business against your peers and competitors for kind of the assets that might be affected by a data breach, the actors or who will cause a data breach, and the estimated cost of those. So you can kind of toggle along these, but I like to go to customize report. So for the purpose of this, we're going to pretend we're kind of an IT consultant or an IT service provider, maybe $3 million in revenue, and you can pull the last 3 or 5 years worth of actual cyber insurance claims data. So I did pull the report here. Again, move myself out of the way, and we'll look at this briefly. So it'll kind of tell you the parameters you put in. The technology is outpacing kind of the overall all industries growth in terms of data breaches, which makes sense. Often, if hackers can get into kind of a tech company, they can get in all of the tech company's clients' data as well. So for this $3 million IT service firm, 60% of the data breaches will hit external servers. A good mix of kind of social engineering, kind of human error, pure kind of hacking, or misuse as well. So it kind of gives you a pie chart of what to look out for. And then the costs. So, first thing that's going to happen when there's a data breach is you're going to have to pay for a very expensive kind of computer nerd data forensics expert to come in, assess your systems, figure out, what data was taken, to what extent the breach was, and who was affected. That's going to be, a fourth of the cost. And then you're going to have to provide services to kind of monitor those people who are affected's credit and notify them, as well as kind of get your business up and running. So first party costs would be cyber insurance for whoever owns the cyber insurance policy, the insured. It's going to help your business. Third party costs would be kind of, third parties you work with, whether that's vendors or clients or kind of partners in your business. So we're saying, based off of, again, actual claims data, that a $3 million IT company probably has around 3,000 records. PFI, personal financial information, personal health information, personally identifiable information, data that needs to be protected. And if all 3,000 of those were breached, it would roughly correlate to $600,000 worth of expenses. And then it breaks down, what those would be. This is the really cool part. So, what are your peers and competitors doing? Well, it looks like most of them are buying either some sort of cyber liability kind of an endorsement in the pink there, where they're just adding a little bit of coverage to their package or their BOP insurance policy. And then the blue bar, a lot of them are opting for kind of a standalone between $250,000 and $1 million worth of coverage. So you could be pretty, rest pretty safe if you bought $1 million policy. But if you bought a $500,000 policy or a $250,000 policy, you might be paying a little bit out of pocket. And then the average kind of deductible was less than $10,000 or $10,000 to $25K. So another way to kind of calculate data breach cost is to figure out, again, how many records you have, say 3,000, and then looking at the cost per record. So just a quick Google search here. What's the per record cost? A great $150 in 2019. And that's by the Oberlin Institute, which they've released kind of an annual cyber data breach kind of report, and it's an independent research firm. They partner with IBM. So if you just Google kind of Oberlin Institute data breach or cyber risk report, you can certainly find an older copy for free, and you might be able to pay for the most recent copy. But if you do kind of a quick math here, you've got 3,000 records times $150 per record, $450,000. So kind of combining 450 with the Chubb Cyber Risk Index of 600,000, you can kind of know that you've got about $500,000 worth of risk. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, you can go back to the tool, and if you're, an IT service company, you can even customize a report for your clients. So say you're, an IT company and you work with a bunch of law firms, you can go in here and pull, law firms, corporate based, and print that report, and a way to provide value to your clients free of charge. So if you found this video helpful, shoot me an email, comment below. Happy to answer any questions. Thanks.